What's up, everyone? Decided to do a drive leaving work and see how FSD does. So I just got on the highway going 281 south. Looking here on the software, still on 12.3.3 of the FSD supervised. So already have it mapped to to go home. So what I'll do is go ahead and engage it now, and then we'll start the drive. So right now it's 4:23. So of course we're going to be cutting into traffic. Definitely peak traffic hour this time. I know there's a new software update going out for the FSD supervised. I think it's 12.3.4. So I'm waiting to get that update and see how that one reacts. I did notice that there's a setting on autopilot talking about minimal lane changes for current drive. So I want to try testing that and enabling that feature to see if those use cases where it's kind of like jumping lanes back and forth. I would assume that would eliminate that. But I need to try, going into work with that setting on, and see if I see any differences. I don't have the setting enabled right now, as you can see, but we've been in pretty much the same lane since I've enabled FSD. So yeah, I'm kind of curious on how things will change. Let me go ahead and just bump up the speed a little bit. So I was looking at Twitter the other night. I think it was a couple of days ago where Elon mentioned that they're gonna kind of do the unveiling of the robo-taxi. I think it was 8/8 was the date of this year that he had mentioned on Twitter. So I'm kind of like wondering what iteration of FSD would be used at that point, because I feel with the past two videos I did, there are still some things that it just doesn't do correctly, and I feel like there would still be the need for manual disengagement from time to time. So yeah, I'm kind of curious on how that unveiling is gonna look like, and the context of it all. I mean, we'll see. That'd be pretty cool. far the drive has been pretty, you know, uneventful, which, you know, is good. It's stayed in the same lane, you know, and it's done well. Coming up, we are going to have to get onto 410, so we are going to need to move over at least one lane to the right. So we'll see when that comes about. Me personally, I would have, you know, maybe moved over now just to kind of get ahead of things. Because looking ahead, if I need to move over to the right lane, there, you know, you see those cars next to me. So I did have a better, ooh, it did some phantom braking here. I think this car was coming too close. Yeah, see? Coming way too close. Sorry, not phantom braking, but actual braking. And I think it was because of that SUV that was next to us that triggered that. You know, maybe I could have avoided that if it would have moved over in that space that I mentioned earlier, but I mean, it was really kind of that SUV's fault that was coming into our lane during that turn. So, you know, take it as you will. Now we're going to be getting on to 410, which we're going to take until we get to 35. I feel like it's slowing down a little bit too much. Made it seem like the car in front of us had their brakes on, going off the visuals, but from my line of sight, it didn't seem like they were, you know, pressing their brakes when I guess the cameras were detecting so. And oddly enough, it moved into the right lane, but this is an exit only. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh, okay. So it's taking me on a different path. I didn't see that because I had the FSD visual full screen. took on that lane change, you know, pretty well. So for this route, it took us off the highway. Normally it doesn't do that. But we'll go with the flow, see what it does. Another good lane change. I think it's kind of prepping us for, yeah, the turn that we have coming up in the next two intersections. The other thing I want to try out too is, you know, once I get the download for 12.3.4, the, you know, kind of little issues that I've been, you know, calling out with, you know, the hesitant lane changes, and then, you know, sometimes going over to a lane where it needs to go back to, and then, you know, being confused on which lane it should go to. We'll kind of see if that, you know, improves with the latest software update. I'm just curious on, you know, how big of the changes we would be able to see from, you know, 12.3.3 to 12.3.4. So we're going to be taking a left turn at this intersection. You know, there's a few cars, you know, good line ahead of us, so I might take a few lights to get there. But getting to this point, you know, there hasn't been really any major issues. It's been a pretty good drive. Okay, so let's see what it does here. It's still green, turns yellow, and then red. Okay. So we couldn't make that one, of course, so we'd, you know, wait our turn and go on the next protected arrow. So this is a pretty big, you know, intersection. I'm trying to remember, it's been a bit of time since I've gone this direction. I think once we make the left turn, I'm trying to remember if it's one lane or two lane. I guess we'll find out and then, you know, see how, you know, how the software determines, you know, which lane to go in. and while I guess we're waiting for this turn, you know, what is kind of everyone's impressions of, you know, FSD 12.3.3? You know, do you feel like, you know, it's made improvements from, you know, from beta? You know, does it feel more human-like? I feel like, you know, it definitely feels more human-like in the decisions that it does make. But then there's still kind of these like little quirky things that still remain. So here, let's see what it does. So right here, it picked the wrong lane. Let me just make sure. Yep, it picked the wrong lane. So this is a turning only lane. I'm gonna have to take over. Yeah, so I didn't choose the right lane there. Needed to be on the rightmost lane. So then re-engage. So definitely one, you know, disengagement for this ride. I was hoping it would have chose the right lane, kind of let it try to do its thing. I wonder if I would have let it, would have tried to jump back over, you know, but didn't want to take me off route. Right now it's stopped traffic, kind of moving along slowly. I wish we would have took the highway route instead of this way today, but it was too late by the time I saw it was taking us off the highway, so oh well. But we are getting there, slowly but surely. So I'm curious how it manages this upcoming intersection. There's a part where us as the oncoming traffic would want to leave some space for the intersection as people are, you know, coming towards us, turning to the right on this section here. So I'm assuming it won't place us like, you know, right in the middle or anything like that, but you know, we'll see. Okay, so we have a green light, everyone's going. Okay, we're going. Okay, so it went in this lane for whatever reason. No turn signal. And then let me just put gas because we're gonna have to go. Well, that person just went on red. And I pushed gas because I don't want to be stuck behind the railroad tracks. I had room in the front to go, so